Hi folks, welcome one last time this week to the 8 Regents tournament. So it's 3-3 in the game between Baratheon and Greyjoy now. It was 3-1 before in favor of Greyjoy, but we clawed our way back, and Dennis has the last game against Nico from the Greyjoy team. And let's see how it goes. It's about to start. Regents are ready. Does that mean we'll get a stream? If we get a stream, then I don't need to record it. And just waiting for Dennis, probably doing some last minute adjustments to his deck. And here we are. Oh, crossing. Didn't want to see that. Dennis was thinking about several options and thought that some control deck, I guess, would have a better matchup against crossing, but then went for alliance instead and playing alliance rows and trading with Kohor. So let's see which one is faster. And typical Greyjoy. Good setup. And maybe Dennis doesn't like his hand here. At least should be safe from March, I guess, against the crossing deck, I would hope. So if you're stuck with a single character, although this deck I think is playing lots of the little knights, so maybe that's not the issue. Okay, here we go. 4 cards, not too bad. So he has Sir Courtney, who can give him, who can participate in 2 challenges potentially. Has Marjorie for the strength increase and some economy. Unfortunately, no attachments. And on the other side, we have Theon and Orc Retriever. So let's see. Theon, he can attack alone with strength 1 potentially in the first challenge, and makes it difficult to oppose that. That's a nice little touch here for Greyjoy crossing, and starting with lots of economy and an Iron Fleet Scout, so pretty much perfect. Just missing that annoying Victorian with Intimidate that we saw in the previous game with Greyjoy crossing. Okay, all the gold. Summer harvest into Pentoshi. Okay, so how about we get 10 knights into play and then play tourney and win in one round? That would be nice. And I'm guessing Greyjoy has something bigger here, not just a swarm of little characters. Should be Victorian or something coming in. Core Balon, I guess, would work with crossing nicely. And Danis goes first. He did win initiative, so interesting. You don't want crossing going first, or I should say you do want crossing going first usually to nail out their board, but maybe he has a chance to get Intimidate, and yes, Randall Tarly with the Warhammer, and he can target the intrigue icons which are weak for Greyjoy usually to prevent the crossing. Of course there's no power to steal, which is unfortunate on the faction card, but still better to win initiative, I think. And this time there is no maiden, so it's a more fair fight. There is one modifier here on the refurbished Hulk. Yeah, this is not the worst start. Okay, maybe needs to keep these attachments. Randall should be gaining some power, and Warhammer will be very useful. So questionable whether Cohort can do anything, but definitely looks good. And oh, okay, that's a character that avoids Intimidate. Now it's not the one that has Intimidate itself, so that's good news if Greyjoy starts going first. However, he will stand and be able to do challenges back. Two warships currently. And there's the intrigue icon, so that's the first thing that needs to go, I think. Greyjoy doesn't really have any other stand. So let's say Randall Tarly does two challenges. He can get rid of Theon as well. Now, can you push military through and take another body out? That would be interesting. So it's well, 16 if absolutely everything is used, which is just about enough. But it won't be. Oh, okay. What do you do now? You may put that card into play. Do you? Of course you do. Why not? And getting rid of We Do Not Sow, that would have gone maybe. That would have targeted the Honeywine. So, currently doesn't have a renown, but an attachment could come in. I'm not liking this plan to trade the attachments currently. But maybe it's worth it for the extra stand. And there is now enough strength to push through the military challenge, kill one character off and intimidate another one. And what do we have here? Sacrificing the bodyguard. Is it going to be king at the wall? Milk. Alright. Yeah, they are annoying with their sweet sleeps lately, but looks like it's not in hand. Otherwise I think it would be already in play on Victarion. And now you can take him out, I think, if Randall does 2 challenges, which he should do. And then you defend against what is left. Still need to worry about Theon a little bit. Power next, because that provides the stand for Sir Courtney. I think you can do it with Courtney and Randall and then use Marjorie if it's defended. However, if Marjorie gets cancelled, it's a problem. And not defending this one, which means this could be the challenge where you intimidate the biggest character. No superior claims this time from Dennis. And now cancels. So Knight Strength Randall Tarly. Strong enough to win this one by himself. Then I guess River gets claimed, Cod gets intimidated, or maybe even, yeah, because he has an icon and there's nothing left on the other side. And then unfortunately Theon will be able to do his challenge. If it's military, should be unopposed. Or do you intimidate Theon and just take the unopposed intrigue from Lucas Cod? Is it that problematic? Could be, if we do not sow is in the deck, could get rid of the honey wine. So I don't see what you can do. And that's it. Up to 6, and Theon does the challenge that he can do. Yeah, it worries me, but we'll see. One we do not sow was already discarded. There is a second one. Okay. Keeps the honey wine, but gets rid of the milk. And now Victorian will be able to do power with the Iron Fleet Scout, I think. That's unfortunate. Still better than having characters in hand, I guess. If it's just these three, they won't do that much damage. A tough call. Do you risk the dupe? There's stand, there's potential renown. If you risk the dupe and then Morghulis gets played, getting rid of the stand, Morghulis gets played, then it's an empty board against whatever gets saved from Greyjoy. Okay, Morghulis 2 gold, so could be costly for Greyjoy too, but need to worry about that, I guess. And Iron Fleet Scout will win this for sure, so unfortunately now Iron Fleet Scout can be used to get him renown, I think, or to stand him and win dominance. And that means it's going to be 5-3. Worst card, worst plot to have here for Dennis, I guess, would be Nothing Burns Like the Cold, getting rid of Honey Wine and Warhammer. But let's see who can win initiative. If Dennis wins it, could go for Intimidate again. Maybe there's another milk. I'm both going for the Maiden. Unfortunately, Nico wins this one because of that refurbished Hulk. And he's lower on power anyway. And now comes some annoying stuff. Asha, but without her boat. And okay, so System Chair can kill something without attachments if you win unopposed. Without attachments, yeah, for the cost of kneeling your faction card, right? hopefully some positive attachments to come. Or just, well, there's so many icons, surely you can defend. Theon is tricky, but I guess you could even use Marjorie on him just to stop his ability. Okay, spamming the board. One attachment left. 2 warships for Victarion, and now Intimidate. Now do you use Marjorie on Theon? I'm sure Daenerys is thinking about it. Otherwise he would have just passed, because there's no way to oppose him. If you use Marjorie, he is strength 4, then you just defend with something. But it's not ideal, obviously. You don't want to waste Marjorie on that. You have Randall Tarly with his stand, potentially. And I don't think Greyjoy can do anything to mess that up, so Ironfleet Scout can only be used on Theon in this scenario. And then he's probably playing out the whole challenges phase now. Might defend with the character that gets taken for claim here. Let's hope there's no Kraken's Grasp or anything that we saw in the previous game. Actually, he's just defending with 2 characters to win on defense. Well, it's not the worst idea if it goes through. And it does. Get some renown on defense as well. Actually, I would have never considered that you just defend with 2 against Theon. I always think of him as an auto-win, basically. Intrigue next, and power is the big one. Asha doesn't look like she could stand, and her draw is limited. Will be just the 3 cards. This one is unopposed, losing Robert. Okay, it was an option in hand, like instead of the smaller ones, but I guess worrying about that system chair. And now Asha searches for something, probably a character, in case of a reset. And Victarion does his power. This one cannot be successfully defended, so I don't think it will be attempted. Victarion still has stand available, that's the problem. Well, can you spend a character here? No. That's unopposed power and the crossing bonus. 7-5 in Greyjoy's favor now. Problem is only one attachment in play, and what to do with that? Could trade for another milk, then your intimidate is gone next round. And not much unopposed is going to be considered here because Victarion can stand. Unless it's traded for a milk again, but then Lucas will oppose intrigue from Green Apple Knight. And this one just about safe, I think. Victarion stands with one ship and gets Ironfleet Scout with the other. He could go up to 9 strength against 9. Just going to oppose for 7. Means he can oppose everyone and not concede much. Unless he's milked now. Guess the other plan is to somehow stand Randall Tarley. Yeah, get some more power on him. Pointy and would suck. I think this is the strength of the Green Apple Knight, so now the intrigue will also be successful, even against any Ironfleet Scout attempts if Nico has something he desperately wants to protect in hand. And Asha did probably grab some saves or something, or maybe another character. Iron Gate. And now I think it should be dominance and the military challenge as well here for Dennis. Whatever Victarion does, and his best option I guess is to stand and defend. Maybe putting Courtney in was enough for Honeymoon Trigger. But then, yeah, I think that's that was possibly the play. Okay, Luca's gone. Now do we trade that knighted for milk? Could trade it for traitor to the crown on Victarion. That would make it difficult to push the crossing challenge through. Does nothing, keeps the knighted. But Dane is still doing well. 9-6 ahead. Not that far away from being within reach of victory here. Just let's not have a pointy end. Not bring him down to 5 again. In fact, he could play a tourney for the king, couldn't he? That's a game winner if it's anything other than Morghulis. And good chance to win initiative with that. Neither player has chosen it yet. The Harris is the reset, I think, for Dennis now. That leaves him with, for instance, Randall Tarley and Sir Courtney. It's not great. Two characters that are duped against, so one of these needs to go, but the other one stays. So against Victarion and Theon, for instance, and bound to be stuff in hand because Asha drew among 4 cards, while Dennis, of course, is top decking. I guess nothing burns again is a problem, but I think that would have been played already. And if it's Morghulis against Turney, I think Dennis goes down to 8 power, but still has 2 knights in play. And if Nico leaves stuff unopposed, should get Dennis very close to victory. But I have some time here. 23 minutes. The game is going to end within a round or two, I think. Too bad this is one deck where you can't play Delena, because it blocks your own stand. Would be nice to block Victarion's stand. And here you go. Nico blinks first. Hopefully doesn't have Wildfire Assault. Okay, you win or you die against the Smith. I don't think he can push for the win here. He will be short and then down to 0 reserve. Smith will nail the Ironfleet Scout, I guess. It's only one attachment. I'm surprised Dennis didn't go for tourney here. It seems like it wins the game if he doesn't run into a reset. Let's see. Dupe for Russia, not the best. What else? Okay, Meister. Preparing for Morgulis or Outwit. Tourney would still lose initiative. But I think even with Nico going first and doing all the challenges, would be difficult to defend. And here comes the Maiden's Bane and Grey Ghost. That's going to mess stuff up, I guess. Maybe even let Theon ability try to get System Chair and to claim. We'll see. Maiden's Bane to stand. Asha potentially is an annoying prospect. Let's hope Dennis, well, actually he has the attachment to nail it, I guess. If you nail it, does it stand? Doesn't stand by itself. Of course, he needs some attachments. He needs other stuff to nail. That's a minor victory. Would be nice to nail all of them actually, because Victarion can stand with them, so he has 3 stands. Well, 3 stands, his limit 2, but 3 locations to use, so for instance 2 for the stand, 1 just for the ability, or this one for the ability. And Nico needs some power. If he was on 10, he would be winning the game right here. Hopefully he doesn't steal. Okay, and that's some more claim soak, and still you have it against Morgulis if it's played next round. But it would be played with 0 hand, because it's 0 reserve, so Carvin saves Victarion, and then it's Victarion and Asha potentially. Let's see what that annoying Asha can do with her Grey Ghost and ability. Luckily, the Maiden's Bane is not. See if the fanatic is in hand this time to cancel this. Would be kind of amusing to cancel the stand, the strength increase on your own character. Actually, what's this? This is a power challenge, it's not a military challenge. System challenge works on the military, that's the dangerous one. Power is of course the one that wins the game and stops Dennis winning the game. He is on 9 if he could defend that. He has a bunch of renown to push his own challenge through. Unopposed power would go to 9. Then let's imagine unopposed military with renown on Victorian would be 11. And unopposed intrigue would be 12. Crossing would be 13. Would be 13-7 before Dennis got a chance. And then how much renown does he have? There's the fanatic. That's a shame. So can't even defend this. So let's imagine that 13-7, shall we? Can do power back for 12-8, and there is renown on 2 characters. That's 12-10. Stand for Randall Tarly. Maybe a king attachment somehow. Doesn't look like he can push for the win. Also the honey wine with no limit. Asha will be knelt, no intrigue icon on defense, so well, maybe. Now do we have the Kraken's Grasp or Grey Ghost being used? If this was tourney, I think it would be pretty much over. Just attack with everyone. Maybe on the military. But still he would be going second. But yeah, the Smith was not too bad. Was the one counter to this annoying Maiden's Bane. Because Asha, even though there's so many icons with Grey Ghost and some stealth, I think she could stand in between. Or can Theon even stand with that? Yes, any character. So 2 challenges with Theon. I think Dennis is playing out the rest of the challenges phase in his head now. I don't think there is a way to gain any power from the cards in hand. With Stealth and Grey Ghost, I think should be unopposed intrigue with Asha. Then the best she can do, I guess, is search for another fanatic or something. Trying to win on defense. It's risky. But he did it, okay. Renown on Randall. Might try to stand later with the Kocher trigger. And Victorian stands. Surely not off to Galtown. He has finished his challenges, not going for the crossing challenge. He's calculated that Dennis is too close. Okay. Of course, the 2 claim intrigue is not important. And what now? Still has the Iron Fleet Scout, but there is a non-kneeler here. Green Apple Knight, so in combination with Godry that should win against Asha. And surely there's another attachment that stands Randall Tarly, isn't there? I think there is a traitor to the crown, so that on... it's not good enough, that on Victorian. Asha and Kerwin with Iron Fleet Scout could still defend it. Outkeeper trying to stand him, and successfully. Now that's surely enough now to win the power, let's see. 15 on defense. No, not quite. Doing military first though. That can be won, and then you can put a traitor on whatever character is left standing, and if neither Asha or Victorian defend this one, it's another win by 5. With 2 renown if and when Garland also participates. Well, gotta say it's looking good, but I don't know the cards in hand. Yeah, what's the situation? It's difficult. So it's 10, and let's say power claim is 11, there's 2 renown, that's 13. He would need to win by 5 to get 14, and then another power somewhere, I don't know. Can he win by 5? Military first, okay, so that's 15, and defend it with 12 to stop the win by 5. And if that puts a traitor on Victorian now, that should be 2 renown, that's 12, and should be power 1 by 5. And dominance, I think it's looking good. If Dennis has the cards, I'm guessing it's all 1 cost attachments, there's gotta be a traitor. Or a stand for Randall. Oof, oof, oof. Knighted. Discarded. What's going on? Both of them, what's going on? Difficult to follow. Okay. So Oathkeeper into Knighted to stand Randall Tarly again. That's 2 renown. And even with Ironfleet Scout, they're stronger than Randall Tarly. So that will get Danish to 14. And he will have, unless Courtney gets cancelled, he will have 2 standing characters with 4 gold left. I think he wins dominance. Oh, okay, that was stressful. That was properly stressful for Team Baratheon, needing to win this one to stay in the tournament, and now we will have that big final round with Stark, Martell and Baratheon still theoretically able to win. Yeah, well played from Dennis. Just had enough. I panicked a bit when I saw the Smith instead of Turney, but he can gain so much power in one round. As you can see, it's round 3 and there's 7 here on Randall Tarly. Crazy, and he stands just with the cohort triggers, so that's a really strong deck for Dennis. And if I'm not mistaken, that's the one agenda where we had 3 copies that we did actually manage to win all 3 games with it. So well played for our star player here. Takes us into round 7 with a chance still to win. Should be exciting. Alright, so thanks for joining me today, and hopefully see you all next week for the deciding games. Bye bye.